the Subaki staff had attended, that they had 7 people that they got the wrong phone numbers for and they just can't get a hold of. Okay, and of course the worry there is that these 7 people may have the virus and may be out running around spreading it. We saw how one symptomatic person at a basketball game can trigger, I mean, what could very well be an avalanche of positive cases. I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but you see, like, I mean, from that one basketball game leading to everything that we're talking about with that cluster now. So, yeah, please, if you were at that gathering in Jigo, Guam is small. You know who you are. If any of you guys know who they are, I mean, gosh, talk to them. Say, hey, man, call in, go get tested, do something. Help us out here, guys. 808 to the Zoom room we go, where the public health, public information officer, Janela Carrera, standing by. We'll just get, good morning, Janela.
Hey, good morning, Chris. Good morning, Jason.
I know that you guys are pretty busy, so we'll just get right
Yeah.
into it. What can you tell us about a passenger who tested positive for COVID-19 mid flight on the way to Guam?
It was on a United flight last night from Honolulu. A passenger learned of the positive result mid-flight on his way to Guam. We learned about it as well. So, of course, we met the passenger as soon as the flight landed. We took the passenger to our isolation facility. And we initiated our protocols anytime this occurs. So what the protocols that we initiated is that the 3 rows in front of the passenger and the 3 rows behind the passenger will be in placed in isolation for 14 days. All other passengers on board that flight will undergo the standard protocol, quarantine protocol procedures, which is on day 6 they'll be offered the test, and if negative, then they'll be able to proceed to home quarantine the following day. I just want to point out that all incoming passengers are subject to quarantine anyways.
Right.
So, that's the standard procedure. But it's just that those who are within the 3 rows in front and the 3 rows behind this particular passenger, just as an added layer of protection and precaution, will undergo the full 14 days of quarantine at our quarantine facility.
Janela, so the process is, right, for travelers coming into Guam, they're supposed to have that negative test, but I know a lot of people, when they do travel, they might get swabbed wherever they're leaving from, but they don't get the results until maybe the next
Right away.
day, and so that's what happened in this
Right.
case.
Right, that's what happened in this case, and that is allowed. Sometimes passengers arrive on Guam, may not necessarily have their results right away, and sometimes passengers arrive without results or a test in hand, and that's why we initiate or that's why we have the quarantine facility, is because passengers arrive with or without a test.
But and also there's no social distancing on the airplane, right?
Right. So there's no 6 feet. I know that some uh, air some of them do try to do as much social distancing as possible.
Right.
But when you're inside of an airplane, and especially when there's air circulating like that, it's almost impossible
Right.
to have social distancing.
Yeah, just as a heads up, though, we did have this picture from the airport, guys. We're gonna pop this up. I got this from my friend Melker, and so 6 feet distancing, but I don't know if he's traveling out. And with the airport seating, it looks like 2 feet, right? So they got the
Mm.
one chair roped off in the middle. I don't know if you guys want to look into that, but again, right, given the COVID, I think it's interesting because I know people who just flew in and it was like plane was totally packed, totally packed.
Right, right. Yeah, it's almost impossible to enforce that kind of distancing inside of an airplane.
Right. Janella, if you could, what's the mindset after that and going into that press conference? Because I'm sure just behind the scenes you were privy to knowing what was going on before it was revealed to the general public. But what's the mindset with public health? It kind of seems like there's some urgency with the mobilization and responding to these clusters.
Well, really our concern is just ensuring that we can get in touch with all those who may have been potentially exposed, ensuring that our team is capable of being able to offer the testing to everyone, because, you are talking about a potential of over 1,000 people. And right now, the only place that is offering that type of testing is our Northern Public Health. But we do have our other providers, such as the private clinics. But of course, our Northern Public Health right now, we're doing our best to see if we can spread it out, and that's why we've offered multiple days of testing. And then getting in touch with everybody else. As you mentioned right before I went on, there are still those close contacts that we're unable to get a hold of. And then, just ensuring that these cases don't spread even further into the community. We are in a good place right now. Our CAR score is still relatively low. And we don't want this to be another case where it starts out with 1 or 2 or 3 cases and then balloons into something big and becomes another surge. It started out in the community, unlike our last surge where it was an imported case, came from off island. Yeah. This one is in the community, and hopefully, this is something that we can contain. It started out as a holiday case. It came from an Easter celebration. So, right. But I think, we're very confident in our team of investigators, contact tracers. They've been at this for over a year, right. 18 months. So, I think with all the experience that we've had, I think we're very confident that we're going to be able to contain this.
Let me ask Janela though. So we're making the call. If you were at Tsubaki or A-Class Lounge, go and get tested. Northern Public Health. But the contact tracers, are they still going down the line and trying to call all these over 1,000 people?
It's going to be difficult to call over 1,000 people in the span of just a few days, and that's why we put the call out. Yeah. So if anybody was at Tsubaki Tower or A-Class Lounge, any of these involved in any of these clusters, we're asking them, we don't wait for the call, because if you know that you were part of this, just come out and get tested, because that is a lot of people to be calling.
Yeah.
So don't wait for the call, just come out and get tested. And again, we have the dates already. So it's starting today, and then we have tomorrow at our Northern Dedido Public Health, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So you can get tested then. And so, but we are going to do our best. We have the login sheets, the sign-in sheets. We are going to do our best to contact those who may have been exposed or may have been there. Of course, we're going to try to start with the most close contacts that have been identified and work our way out from there. But I mean, if you visited Tsubaki Tower over the weekend or A-Class Lounge on those dates that were specified, if you know you're one of them, just come out and get tested.
God, I was just talking with my lady last night about going to go karaoke. Freaking A, man. Had it all planned out. Date night at Tsubaki, then karaoke after, and then boom, out the door. There goes that idea. All kidding aside, Janela, so yeah, and that's why I asked, because I know that we are putting the word out, but then I also know that the routine contact tracing, because we've been in this a year, I almost feel like I could be a contact tracer. But I know that they do also try and get a hold of those people, so that's why I kind of asked. And I know it's gargantuan to go down the line and call all 961 patrons and 84 staff and everyone else, but is that part of the effort that's being done?
Yes, it is definitely part of the effort, is to go down the line, try to call all of them, but to do that in 2-3 days, even 4 days, may not all happen in that time frame. And it's possible that by the time we call someone, they may have already gotten tested.
Right.
So,
But it's also
and
possible that by the time you guys call someone, they may have not been tested. It may have gone around.
that's true.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, really up against
Or
the
they may
clock.
not have, they may not be aware.
Yeah.
But what we're hoping is that, by the time we call them, they have received the word, they had gotten tested, and that's what the call out is for. That's the purpose, is that, they're aware, they go and get tested even before we call them.
Right on.
And that's why we're grateful to, be able to have this opportunity. And we did the press conference yesterday as well, is so that we can push out that message to the community.
Yep, we're here to help, Janela. So if anything develops
Thank
over the
you.
weekend where there's other group of people that you need, just jump on, whatever we can do to help, because really want to just get the lid on this thing, right? Appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. We appreciate you as well. Thank you, Chris.
Janela. Okay, bye. 8:17.
Yeah, speaking of getting the word out, we do want to really emphasize that there is let me get that script here. Today and Saturday from 9 to 3, as we've been saying.